I don't know, man. Every single time I look at the snow and I think of the cold, this gorgeous fucking black and white movie I just tend to watch a lot. And it's not even a Christmas movie. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ginger Snaps here. My name is Steven, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about a movie that definitely takes place in the wintertime. Right now, currently in Canada, it is snowing and it's fucking cold. And, I thought, whenever it gets cold, I do think of a certain film that, kind of matches with it. And that film just so happens to be The Thing from Another World, which was released in 1951. Now, this is one of Howard Hawks' possibly more acclaimed films, I would like to say. I know some people have not ever seen this movie, but if you guys haven't seen this movie, just stop this video, go check it out for yourself. It is not that hard to understand why a lot of people who have seen this movie adore this movie and love it so fondly. The movie is about a pilot who sends a bunch of his men to a polar expedition where a scientist is there after finding out that there has been an unidentified aircraft that has crashed, and they are going to go out and examine it, and they come to the realization that it is an alien. It is a thing from another world. Roll credits, right? Well, they tend to, try to examine this thing, and it kind of goes to shit. Now, of course, this movie, like I said, came out in 1951. This was back in the day when, invaders from Mars or creatures from another planet come to Earth. And this was at the time when it comes to horror genre. Now, of course, it's like the horror science fiction genre. And, of course, as we all know, it's a black and white film. Now, I know a lot of people do not watch black and white films, but I do highly recommend this movie. I do believe there is a colorized version of it, which I don't understand why you'd want to watch it colorized. I don't understand it. It's gorgeous in black and white, and it's a beautiful movie. And honestly, like the first time I ever watched it, I fell in love with it so much I ended up finding myself watching it like 3 times that night. It was that fucking good. There's a lot of characters in this movie. Now, of course, there are some female scientists. There's some male, army personnel, male scientists, and of course, they're all kind of like trying to figure out what this creature is, where it came from, what it's doing on Earth. And, sometimes they do butt heads with each other, especially with the military personnel butting heads with the scientists, since, the scientists, they want to, examine it, communicate with it, try to benefit science, whereas the military, when they find out that, this thing's kind of fucking dangerous, they try to terminate it, to exterminate it. And, it's pretty much one of those basic science fiction horror movies. But the one thing that really gets the charm of this movie is just the all-out dialogue in this movie, because of the fact that when you watch a scene and you see a character interacting with another character, it doesn't seem like they're acting. They're reading a script. It seems all genuine, like it was all improv in a way. And I do love that about this movie. That's one of the charms about this movie, is just all the characters in this movie interact with one another, of that time, obviously. But other than that, like the dialogue, the acting, everything about this movie is just one of the, favorites if you do watch 1950s horror movies. And I know a lot of people probably put this in their top 10. I definitely for sure do. And of course, this movie was a particular favorite of a certain director. Now, the scene I'm about to show you, you're going to probably kind of sit there and think, if you've never seen this movie before, that trust me, you've seen this scene before. You've seen it. And here's the scene.
1-point line, the needles hit the top.
I know you're probably wondering to yourself, where have I seen this scene before? Well, if you've seen John Carpenter's Halloween, you would definitely have seen this scene. Of course, RKO Pictures, that scene in particular, another scene in general where they're surrounding the aircraft to see the shape of it. You've seen this scene many times, and Rob Zombie even does it too, but that's plagiarism. But John Carpenter was such a big fan of this movie, and he loved it so much that he would end up going on to remaking this movie. Which, no secret here. If I'm reviewing this one, that means the remake will be the next one I review. But that's for a different video altogether. I do say, when it comes to the creature, of course, you're gonna see a big departure in the remake, whereas this one, it's kind of an alien life form that is somewhat described as a vegetable. It can't feel pain. It regrows itself a limb if it loses one. Plant seed pods, I guess, in a way, because like I said, back in the 50s, that's what it was. This movie was based off a book of Who Goes There. And of course, John Carpenter even based his remake more with the source material of the book. But like I said, we're going to get to that later on. Now, of course, this movie does take place in the Antarctica, I believe it is. But yeah, whenever I think of this movie and I look outside here in Canada, in my hometown of Edmonton, and it's like fucking cold, I do pop this movie in quite a bit sometimes because I don't know what it is. I always do tend to watch this movie more in November and December than in October. I don't know why, but yeah, every single time it gets really cold, I tend to watch this movie, and especially a boatload of other movies that do tend with the winter. And I know there's a few of them that a lot of people, you may not think of it. I know there's some people who probably are subscribe to this channel who actually don't experience winter. Let me tell you. I know Canada can get cold. We can get minus 40, and that's fucking cold to us, but nothing compared to over there. Of course, how the movie does end, it's pretty much, the stereotypical 1950s movies where, they say, warning, watch the skies, and then the end, it comes up. But, the thing about this movie is it's got that charm to it. It's definitely one of the top 10 1950s movies I've ever watched in my whole entire life, and I do highly recommend this movie so heavily for people. I mean, like, if John Carpenter loved it and you like John Carpenter's work and you have never seen this movie and you want to give black and white movies a chance, I would definitely recommend this movie for sure, especially if you're into the science fiction genre. Now, of course, as for a rating for this movie, I do give The Thing from Another World a solid 8 out of 10. Now, of course, the creature, the Thing, played by James Arness, it didn't really make it look like a creature, which we will see in John Carpenter's film. But of course, it's a stereotypical alien-like creature, and it to me it kind of wasn't too convincing. Like, you just look like a guy in a suit. That's all it is. But other than that, I just absolutely adore this movie. It's always like a repeated movie, left, right, and center in my household, and I can probably pop this movie in any day. But for some odd reason, whenever it's snowing, I tend to put this movie in a lot. So guys, what did you think about this movie? If you have actually seen it, do you love it as much as you do for any other 1950s movies? Do you put it in your top 10? And if you haven't seen this movie, are you going to plan on checking it out? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you also hit that thumbs up if you like this video, and also subscribe for more content. Other than that, guys, that's it for me. This has been the Ginger Snaps here. My name is Steven, and I will check you guys out later.